We can talk about whatever. It's not. This is casual. So I was told for the rough draft that I made, that I needed to make the room more personal, the area for the character. I think I was getting kind of tripped up on like small stuff, like what he would like, or like, you know, like what he does in his free time. And I feel like I was losing a bit of the plot there. What?
Well, I thought of what I would put in.
Oh, what would you put in?
Because he's a solar punk detective, I would like put all the classic noir stuff, like the coat stand with the fedora and the long coat.
This is a different
then, like,
character, but keep going. No, keep going. I want to hear what you.
And then like a bonsai collection.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, that would have been so good. Like a little table with all that. We gotta talk about this more, actually. Because I was thinking like I didn't have enough solar punk stuff. I liked how the everybody liked how the cherry blossom like got into the spotlight. That was like a big thing for it. But that
I would also have like a very big open window, seeing like a city outside, because you know natural light is a huge part of solar punk worlds.
Yeah.
And there was no natural light.
No, there wasn't. Yeah,
You could say like he lives in like the undergrowth, so there are people who are like under the plants and they don't get sunlight, so it's like more seedy.
I was gonna say you could even call that part of the city the undergrowth. It sounds seedy.
Yeah. Seedy.
Yeah. No, this is the other one, the Alejandro one, the prince. I think I'm gonna like focus on making it kind of appear like a birdcage, you know, locked indoors is like the framing of the shot. The windows are blocked out. You know, tying into the Hellenistic Incan kind of like mixture. There is a marriage festival in the Incan Empire where they go to Cusco, and it's based all around like the veneration of their like prime deity. I'm not gonna mess up on the name, but it's a sun god. It's basically the sun, and the Incans believed that they were kind of descended from it. And I think like that, you know, instead of like kind of leaning into that totally as like a celebration, because usually like the sun's, you know, like kind of where you want to go to. I think instead it'd be almost like a falseness or like a pride for him, like an Icarian like flight type of thing. You know, we've got like a wax seal and a letter, and it's melting, and it kind of trips into this like chain outlook. I think personally the character should have very little space for what he likes and enjoys. I don't know. I think he's kind of obsessed with occultic stuff as opposed to the culture of his empire. So it would have a small little tarot set up, different cards. I think primary one that maybe the one that should be shown last but down is the tower, signifying destruction or change. Kind of that motif that everything's leaning on his decision, and what he ends up doing could affect everything that he stands for, or everything that he's responsible for, more so. So cards, a letter with wax, some sort of wedding gift, a lot of royal adornments. That it should almost feel suffocating, how everywhere it is. On the ceiling and the roof of it's going to be double caved and look kind of like a Parthenon, and then the what do you call the engravings on a vase? Greek vase.
Engravings?
How they told the stories on it, you know? It doesn't matter as much. I shouldn't have asked it like that, but kind of that going along the ceiling.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're just called paintings. People refer to the vase painters as vase painters.
Mm-hmm. Do you think how do you feel about tying the Icarus into the sun kind of marriage? Do you think that's too clumsy? Doesn't make sense thematically?
I don't think that's too clumsy.
What would you add to a prince's room that was kind of suffocated?
Probably a work in progress of a painting that's being made of him that makes him look more grand than he is.
That's a good idea.
Maybe with a drape over it, covering part of him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. Stacks of correspondences that he has to write through. It could be good. Sleeping space. I feel like even that should be taken up. Just different outfits on different outfits on different outfits. I know why the caged bird sings. Okay. So, painting, letters, tarot cards, a bed, an ice tray or drink cabinet, but that's filled with royal adornments instead. So things like a crown, earrings, maybe a personal like thing or two. So probably a necklace and rings. Various outfits. Cover painting, I already said that. Pen. I think an inkwell and pen. Let's see. A chained window. At least a guarded window. Stained glass. Trimming. It's the list of everything I need.
Well, how about, you're doing a bird thing, right?
Yeah.
How about like a taxidermy beautiful bird?
Ooh, yeah.
Or maybe a taxidermy bird that's in need of repair, like it's one of its wings is broken.
Great idea. Broken taxidermy bird. Oh, right. I wanted to feature Libertas, the Greek god of freedom. The Statue of Liberty. I think probably along the wall or the ceiling somewhere, I put that, signifying towards like freedom itself. I could do something with the moon. The goddess of marriage in Incan mythology is Mama something. And she's a goddess of the moon. So Libertas is often depicting holding a shield. So it's kind of that same area, like maybe a reflection somewhere, or maybe something. What usually symbolizes freedom?
Symbolizes freedom. Maybe a bird, something that flies. Ship at sea.
Ship. That's a good one. Has to be something with the flight, though. I think kind of soaring away. I don't know, you could have the taxidermied bird, the broken wing, the wing that's showing is almost like pointing in the direction of what the freedom would be.
You could have it pointing at the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. How about outside the window are Nazca lines? Giant bird or something like that. Maybe the ocean itself. And since this is all history, it can make up our own. Okay, I think it's a good list. I gotta come up with the easy ones that I need to do and have them finished, modeled by Tuesday. So rings are easy. Crown down, I'd put on the easier side. The roof is easy, windows probably easy. What else? Card, tarot card. So, ring, roof, tarot card. What else did I say? Completely forgot it already. Letters. That wasn't what I said. Crown.
See, I'm listening.
What? Yeah, you are listening. You're listening better than I am. I mean, the taxidermy bird is just a great idea. Especially because you hate taxidermy.
I don't hate taxidermy.
You don't?
No.
I thought you did.
I think it's okay to it's an okay way to preserve something that's beautiful. It's when people go out for the sake of creating taxidermy that it's bad. But if they find an animal and they're like, let's preserve it. It's fine.
I think, even though the marriage festival is usually the sun, I think I'm gonna make it goddess the moon. And when it's pointing out there, it's towards the wing. On the distance, it's the dawn. I don't know if that's. I want to be respectful of the cultures that I'm kind of using, well, referencing, but I feel like thematically it fits better. I think that's good enough. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Wait, no.
What?
You gotta do something, Talkin, before you go. Hi, YouTube.
Do you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do.
It's weird. You look weird on camera, but not in real life.
I'm not photogenic.
It's really like a completely different person on the screen.
Really? What do you think is like wrong?
Let's see.
Also,
Be as photogenic as possible right now. Alright, now do your bit. Or tell everybody like.
Two turkeys
Oh no.
went down to the farm. One was really fat and the other was really thin. And the thin one says to him, you know, I appreciate your company, but sometimes you're gobbling it down. No, we're not doing that. Cut it. Don't even look at me. No,
Okay, I really-
no, don't. I'm gonna head an actual one. We're not gonna tell an actual joke. I'm gonna tell an
Okay.
actual joke.
You can tell my recharge.
No. That one can get me canceled. It's in the dogs after me.
Please. Please. Joke today.
Yeah. So, a friend has some car trouble downtown. A guy has some car trouble downtown, so he calls his lawyer friend. And his lawyer friend doesn't have a car. And he's kind of a hefty guy, right? And so he tells him, alright, I'll be on the way. And it'll take me about 30 minutes. And so he walks his way through street after street until he comes onto a construction zone. And they're setting down large kind of like the metal parts of the building, right? And they're doing it, piece by piece. It's not too high, just enough that you can walk over it. But the lawyer's struggling, it's too big. Can't lift his legs high enough. Over and over again. And his friend calls him again, and he asks him, and he says, where are you? I really need your help here. And the lawyer friend tells him, I would really love to help you, but I just can't get past the bar. Just can't pass the bar. It's the lawyer. Okay, we're doing a different one.
Dude, why didn't you say I can't pass the bar first?
Because
I can't get past
I can't pass the bar, yeah. Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
The finishing line was right there. And
Yeah.
you tripped.
Yeah.
You face planted right in front of the end.
Well, it's I had a heavy dinner, so I get, So a guy goes out to a discotheque and he's not allowed inside. And the guy asks him, and he's like, why am I not allowed inside? And the bouncer tells him, well, it's because you don't have a date. And the guy wonders, he's like, well, what kind of music what kind of music are you playing? And what was it again that I needed? And the bar and the Such a... Okay. The bouncer tells him, well, sir, it's a swing and a miss. Okay. We gotta end it on one that's actually funny.
You just came up with that.
Yeah, I did come up with that. Yeah. Oh, that's a good. It's like making a train wreck and telling everybody, "Look what I did."
It's funnier the more I think about it.
Don't think about it. Why do they call it a carpool? Nobody's swimming and it's on land.
You could tell your drone story to everybody.
The drone story. No. I think the story I'm going to tell is about. So, one time, me and Manny went to Las Vegas. My friend Manny. He's kind of a.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You really went to Las Vegas?
Oh yeah, we drove all the way there. We drove too. There's no plane. There's no flight. For those who don't know,
You really went to Las Vegas?
Yeah. Manny's kind of a, he's a jolly fellow. He can talk your ear off, and you'll never know what he's saying, but it's always good to listen to him. That's just the type of guy he is. So we're going to Vegas, and we were going for. I think there was some event Manny wanted to go to, and I said, yeah, I'll tag along. I've always wanted to go to Vegas, and so we booked a motel out there. Like not a seedy one, but not a great one. Enough that we could just park our stuff at and not feel too worried. And so it's about a 3-day drive all the way to Vegas. And so it's a straight line basically. One of the things about it, my brother actually drove from California to Georgia in 3 days on a pickup truck. So you can do it. You can make that 3 days. We took 4 because I just couldn't stand. I would never do it again. At some point it's just the same, and it's pretty. It's pretty, but it's the same. It's like at one point you just, it's like eating too much ice cream. You just get tired of it. But hitting Colorado, that broke it up. About halfway through, they had the mountains. And Colorado mountains are gorgeous. The most beautiful thing in the world, I think, personally. Because they jut out of the sky like out of a fantasy. And you can actually, like, you can't see the tops. It's like it's cloudy out there, and the snowstorm picks up and it covers over it. And, I wanted to go hiking, but we had to make it there. And so, we stopped for a little bit to stare at them. And Manny, when Manny talks, he'll talk kind of in like a right turn, and when you take the right turn with him, he takes another right turn. So he's always streets ahead, but he's not streets ahead going the right way. you know. But it's fun to follow behind him. It's like you're in a car chase. He's always telling me about how, you know, he saw these mountains out in Texas. It's like, oh, they had mountains out in Texas? Yeah, it's like, you know, we go out to the mountains, we go see this, and you know, when we were going there, you know, my brother he would get Gogurt, you know, he got Gogurt, and he got it all over the car. I was like, oh, got Gogurt? It's like, yeah, and you know, and it's like, yeah, and then, what was it? It was like it went from Gogurt to, oh, he was talking about his nieces right after. He's like, yeah, and my nieces started getting Gogurt, you know? It's like they love this stuff, and I got to keep it away from them because they bounce off the walls. I'm like, wait a minute, Manny. You know, I'm like, I'm still here. We're still talking about, you know, the mountains of Texas, and you're talking about the nieces with the Gogurt. Who knows, you know? But I, you know, I love kind of like following along. It's fun, you know. It's fun in a way. It breaks up the monotony, you know. Sometimes, you know, it's like sometimes going in a straight line will drive you crazy, but going in a circle going nowhere doesn't. It's kind of funny how life is that way. But we stopped and we stared at the mountains of Colorado and thought about Gogurt, and we picked up again, you know, got back in our car and go back over and started hitting plains. You know, they got, I don't think we passed by Kansas. I don't think we hit Arkansas. We hit, you know, just kind of going through these plain areas, right? Once you're past the mountain range, then it's just flat. Like somebody just steamrolled the whole place. And God knows, once you get further out, it's gonna start being all like cement out there. So it did steamroll it out there. We go through cornfields, we go through normal fields, we go through not tree fields, of course, you know, all sorts of fields, you know, variations of the Windows XP background. You know, I was telling him, it's like, hey, do you remember Windows XP? And he's like, yeah, I remember Windows XP. I used to download emulators for the SNES, and I would like to play Tales of Fantasia on it. And I was like, Manny, we're talking about, you know, Windows XP. And he was like, yeah, I know. It's like the one where they had the Clippy come up and he talked to you. And I was like, all right, I do remember Clippy, you know. So, you know, after about another 18 hours of conversations like that, we finally get on to the very edges of the, you know, Sin City. We're seeing it in there, and it's glorious, middle of the day light. You know, what they don't tell you about Las Vegas is that during the daytime, it's just like every other city. You know, they got a couple attractions here and there. We were there before the big orb, but we were there nonetheless. And they got the pyramid, and they got the Sphinx, and they got the kiki, you know, guy, and the cowboy that tips his hat. You know, they got all the lights, but they're not lit up during the day. You know, so everything's like off. Like it's like they're waiting in line. It's like completely barren, like a Celine Dion concert. I'm kidding. Everybody loves Celine Dion. She knocked it out of the park on Titanic. I forgot who it was. There's some joke that people make about somebody that performs at Las Vegas that they don't go to, and it's not Penn and Teller, and it's not the two guys with the white tiger. You know that those guys stopped performing because the white tiger attacked one of them.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, well you'll find out about it later. You'll hear about it. It's like an icon of Vegas. And so we go there. You know, I was not going to gamble at all because, you know, I don't want to touch that. I knew I'd lose money. Manny wanted to gamble. Manny also said that you shouldn't gamble because he quit smoking cigarettes years ago. He used to smoke a pack a day, and he got involved with a married woman, and she was about 10 years older than him, and he was in his 20s, and that's when he was smoking a pack a day. And I was like, Manny, we were talking about gambling, and told me, yeah, I know, but it's like, you know, now I really love older women. It's like, all right, Manny, we'll keep you away from cigarettes. We'll try to keep you away from gambling. Of course, we get to the motel, and it's basically a fear and loathing type of motel, right? You know, like, it's not enough that you think that somebody's going to get murdered outside at the wrong time of night, but you want to bring Febreze, and you want to make sure the sheets are kind of clean before you even touch them. So you ask for room service. You ask for cleaning it up one time. We get everything out there. We get it all set up. I mean, he's excited to be there. I'm dead. I was driving most of the time. And Manny's like, oh, do you want to go in the pool? I was like, man, maybe I don't want to go in that pool. They over-chlorinate those things, and even if they over-chlorinate those things, I don't want to touch it. It's either going to kill me from the disease, or it's going to kill me from the chlorine. So anyways, we go over to the pool, and we got these people talking to us, and they're tourists. They were from Egypt, and they were saying, we're going to go see Mike Tyson autographing later today. And I was like, Mike Tyson, really? Mike Tyson? And Manny was saying, oh, I love Mike Tyson. Sonny Liston was my favorite boxer, but I really liked it when Manny Pacquiao was fighting. I forgot who he fought. It was a few years ago. It was a big setup fight, right? Everyone was excited for it to happen. But what ended up happening was it was technicals. The guy was a technical fighter. He'd keep his arms distant. He'd go for the technical ones. Manny Pacquiao was like a short guy, and he'd go for the knockouts and get close. Whenever he got close, the guy would do the hug, and back him away. And so it ended up being a 9-round fight that was won by technical knockout. So no like real knockout, no real fight. Everybody was upset by that. Manny loved it. Okay. But anyways, this guy's telling us, it's like we were, we're not Egyptian. We moved to Egypt, and our family was settled there, and we got everything kind of organized, and we had our troubles, but we always heard about Las Vegas, and it's like we wanted to go see Mike Tyson. We don't like gambling, we don't drink, we don't do all of that. But we do like boxing. Well, I do. Papa does. Papa loves boxing. The son loves boxing. The mother couldn't care for it. She was enjoying herself in her headdress, and then umbrella over it. Didn't even want to deal with the sun today. But she had her sunglasses on through it, and she was just laying down enjoying herself. She had like a book beside her, and the son and the father were just hanging out in the pool, splashing about. Her son was like 13, 14. He was telling us, it's like, hey, yeah, we're going to go see Mike Tyson. We're going to go an autograph later. I was like, oh, yeah. So I asked Manny. It's like, Manny, do you want to go see Mike Tyson? And my man was like, yeah, I grew up with like Hulk Hogan and grew up with all these things. I would love to go see him. And so I took that as the most straightforward yes I'd ever get from him. And so after we got out of the chlorinated pool and took a shower, not together, I took a shower, he took a shower. We got dressed up and we headed out. Over to, the Mike Tyson line. Now, of course, that thing was out the door. It was out the door, down the street, down the way, and we get in the back. Surprisingly, the Egyptian folks were a couple people ahead of us. And, we waved to them, and all of that was fine. We're like sitting there in line, and we were talking about kind of like things that were going on. Well, not to them, we said hey, and then we didn't want to talk over people, but we listened, we were listening. And at first there was like little murmurs through the crowd, it's like, oh my god, I can't believe it's like Mike Tyson, it's like, do you think I can get him to bite my ear off? It's like, things like that. One of them was even saying, it's like, oh, I want to get him to punch me in the face. That's what I want to do. I want to get him to punch me in the face. Was the guy like right in front of us. And I lean over to me, and it's like, this guy doesn't want to get him punched in the face. He'd die. And it's like, yeah, he'd knock his block off, and he'd like shoot around the moon like that one like that one commercial with the moon and the Coke bottle. And I was like, yeah, I kind of remember that one. It's like, was that a Coke bottle? It's like, yeah, you know, it's like Coke used to have those commercials where they had everybody singing in a line and they all raised up a Coke for everybody. You know, it's like commercials back then were very like cheery and like bright. And it's like, but nowadays it's all like dark, you know, it's like, you know, they gotta have brooding. It's like the superhero movies, you know, they're all serious. I was like, all right. I was like, man, it's like, you know, I think they made a joke about that in X-Men. You know, I feel like I finally caught Manny on that one. I was like, hey, I'm there with you, you know? I was like, yeah, you know, they don't wear spandex anymore. They just wear black leather. And it's like, you know, I think they really took after, like, the Matrix from that, you know? It's like, you know, really influential. And I was like, wow, we're finally on the same page now, you know? It's like the Matrix, right? Matrix is huge in the 2000s. And I was like, yeah, you know, I love that movie. It's kind of surprising that Keanu Reeves didn't have, you know, much action until John Wick. I mean, he had, like, Constantine. And he told me, it's like, oh, yeah, I love Constantine as the comics. You know, I really thought that he could do, you know, Sandman from Neil Gaiman. Did you know that they're coming out with Good Omens? And I was like, it's a car. Heart skipped a second there. Speaking of John Wick,
Oh, you would have known if it was a gunshot.
yeah, I know, but
I didn't think it would be a gunshot even first.
no, I mean it wasn't like I thought it was a gunshot. It was just loud noise, rattling, just right in the middle of that. You know, John Constantine, he would have known if it was a gunshot or not. John Wick, he would have known if it was a gunshot or not. Neo wouldn't even had to have known if it was a gunshot or not. He would just. Keanu Reeves had short hair in that movie. Can't even see that anymore. And so I told him, I was like, Good Omens, you know, I never read Good Omens. I read American Gods. It was Neil Gaiman and I don't remember who else. And it was like, yeah, you know, it's like I really loved, you know, him and Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. You know, I always thought that he would be good with Ashton Kutcher. You know, he could be on like That 70s Show. I mean, basically Bill and Ted and Dude, Where's My Car are the same type of movie. And I was like, kinda. They're kind of the same type of movie. There's a lot of that like sort of weird slapstick comedy in the 90s. And it's like, did you ever watch Freddy Got Fingered? And I told him, no, I never watched Freddy Got Fingered. I've never seen that. You know, the only place I know Tom Green was from the Slim Shady like song. You know, Tom Green can hump a dead moose. You know, my bum is on your lips. My bum is on your lips. And if I'm lucky, you'll give it a little kiss. And so he told me that he was like, you know, I really, you know, I think Rap God was my favorite song, is what he told me. I think Rap God, but honestly, I think that he is overrated as a rapper. I think that Exhibit is better. And I told him, it's like, I don't remember which songs Exhibit did. You know, maybe, you know, my memory is kind of shot sometimes, so I think that's on me. And I told him, I was like, yeah, you know, it's like he wrote Gangster's Paradise. And I was like, I think you're getting something mixed up there. You know, I don't think he did Gangster's Paradise. And he told me, I was like, no, he did Gangster's Paradise. He was there with Snoop Dogg, and they took that song from the Bond films. And I was like, what song from the Bond films? And they told me, it was like, you know, the sting from the song is actually from the Bond films. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on, what are you talking about? You know, what are you saying here? What's going on? And it's like, yeah, you know, this guy did that. You know, he was the musician for the Bond films, and he made this song, and Snoop Dogg and Exhibit took that song and made Gangster's Paradise. And you know, I got completely kind of lost there for a second. And then you know, it's like the composer did. The composer made that song. And he stopped for a while. And he didn't say anything. It was like, you know what movie is actually kind of underrated? It's Munich. You ever see Munich? And I was like, that was about the Israelis, right? That was about the Israelis getting the Israeli like athletes. I was like, yeah, it's like they have all these problems there. It's like all about it. All the conflicts and it kind of like boiling over. And I was like, oh yeah, well, I've never seen that movie. I've never heard that. I think it won an Oscar. And told me, it's like, yeah, no, they really don't like each other there. It's like they had, they had all these, like problems, and they don't really enjoy each other. It's like I work at this falafel place, right? I'm the manager of the falafel place, and it's like, yeah, you're the manager. And it's like, yeah, I've been working as the manager there for like half a year now. I was a manager at the previous place before that, and then I was manager at the little like coffee place down in Ponce. But the thing is that every once in a while, I'd say about every 3 weeks, somebody would come in and they would tell me, and it's like, you made this falafel wrong. What recipe are you doing this? Is this made by an Israeli? And so apparently, people from the Middle East would know that the falafel was wrong. And I was like, Manny, really? Really? They didn't like them that much that they would know when the falafel was made by an Israeli. And Manny was like, yeah, and they really don't like each other. Sometimes he like came and like he cussed me out, and I was like, sir, I just make the falafel. I don't have anything to do with any of this. I'm sorry. I can just please step to the side. I've got more customers. I'll try to address everything they have. Despite Manny's like kind of mannerisms, he's actually pretty good as he's actually really good as a manager. He really can handle things when he's in the heat of the moment. It's just that he likes to let loose everywhere else. Now, at that moment, it caught the ear of our Egyptian family, and they were like, yes. These Israelis, they're always taking things from us. They're always just like these people in front of us. They took our place in line, and I didn't know this was going on. So the people in front of them turned back over to we gave that like side back turn. They were clearly, I didn't know. We stepped on a landmine. We were setting up landmines, and I was like, there's no way we'll step on a landmine. But then we kicked into it. Now they turn back and they tell them, it's like, we never cut you in line. We were here the entire time. It's like, you were there, you went to the bathroom, we just got in, and you told us that we were there first. But your wife was, set over to the side, and while we came in, then you came back and you said that we were behind you. And, I felt a little guilty. So I tried to do some arbitration. I was like, all right, it's only one place in line, it's like, it can't be that big of a deal. It's like, he says, no, they always do this. They're always doing this. They're always taking our place. They're always, we weren't from Egypt originally. We were from Palestine, but our family moved to Egypt and we made our way, and now we have to deal with it even here in America. And the Israelis turned back and they was like, it's not our fault. We're not responsible for that. We don't know anything about what's going on there. We're just citizens. We just have that, you can't blame us for whatever else is going on. And you can't take that over and blame us for these things. And so they go back and forth, and they're now arguing about who's place in line. And I'm like, all right. So what happened? Like, when you went to the bathroom, what happened? And he said, well, my wife, my darling wife, very shy, very, very wonderful woman, she decided to let them pass and take over the place. And when we came back, they were sneering at us. They were giving us a sneer, like they're doing now. They're doing that to us. And it was like, we never sneered. We never did that to you. It was never happening. You're making things up again. We're laughing at you. And so they kind of get back into bickering again. They're just saying things at one another. And I'm like, all right. So it's like, so to be fair, even though you were there first, you gave them the place, so it's rightfully theirs, right? That's the wrong thing to say in this situation. It only kicked things up a lot. So they started yelling at one another again. And Manny was looking at it, and it was like, And it's like, oh man, you know, it's like I got really into baseball, and it's like, you know, this is just like when the Mariners came up to the Braves. And it's like, you know, I really love the Mariners. They both turned, and they turned to Manny, and it's like, it's the Mariners. What are you doing? And so, by complete sheer coincidence, by just complete and total, just pure love of sports, both of them coincidentally, I don't know why, hated the Mariners and turned their ire towards Manny. And Manny, of course, shrunk back. It's like, I grew up in Florida. They're around my nieces. I love them. It's like, Manny, I don't think the Mariners are in Florida. I think you're thinking the Marlins, and those are a football team. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Completely lost the track at that point. But somehow, you know, and when they're going like this at each other. There's a lot of this gesturing. They settle down from one each other, and they get back in line. You know, and caused all the commotion. You know, it's like I was worried about the security. I was worried about everything kind of going on. And we're getting close to the end of the line. You know, we can finally see Mike Tyson, and everybody's like you know, they're, you know, from the energy, the fighting, and you know, some people were like muttering to themselves, it's like, God, I wish they fought. You know, it would have been perfect. We would have seen a real boxing match right before we saw Mike Tyson. You know, the guy in front of us, he's like shadow boxing the air. He's so excited. And I'm turning over to Manny, and it's like, Manny, did you bring money? It's like, I don't think it says, you know, I don't think it says credit card. You know, I think we need to have cash. And Manny's like, no, I didn't bring money. I didn't bring cash. You know, we weren't going to go gambling. I didn't want to bring that at all. I was like, Manny, you can, I mean, like, you know, I didn't bring it either. So I can't blame you. You know, there's nothing that I can do about that. But it's like, we need to get cash, and there's nothing around here, right? There's nothing to do. And everyone's like, kind of like, oh, you know, we got like 10 people in front of us. And so I'm turning the guy in front of us, and he's shadow boxing, and like, I'm like, all right, I don't need to tell him anything. And turn back to behind us, and it's like this demure old man and his lovely wife, who's, God knows, she's dealing with the sun. She's got like a little like hat on. She's trying her best to keep going. And he's holding her hand, and he's got like a water bottle over there. And it's like, I can't believe we're gonna see Mike Tyson. You know, I always wanted to see him fight Muhammad Ali, but you know, they were just too many generations apart. You know, I was there when I saw Muhammad Ali, and I was there seeing Mike Tyson, and now in my old age, I can finally get an autograph. And I was telling him, I was like, sir, I know you're very excited to see that, but do you mind if I step out of line to go get cash? And he's like, yeah, I do mind. I've been waiting for this my entire life. I'm not going to wait even a day longer. And I was like, all right. So Manny's like, he freaks out, you know, he gets really anxious. He's freaking out. He's looking all over the place, and he's kind of like, I was like, Manny, it's okay. You know, it's not a big deal. We were in line for, you know, about an hour and a half. You know, a lot of it was just kind of staring there, like, you know, baking in the hot Vegas sun. You know, we had our sunscreen on, we had everything on. And I go to the people behind him, and they're, you know, it's just a guy by himself, and it's like, all right, the people in front of you are not okay with me stepping on a line to get money. Do you mind if I step out of line to get money, and I save my place with my friend Manny here for both of us to get an autograph? And the guy's like, yeah, okay. And then the old man turned back and was like, you're a chump. How are you giving your place up? We're waiting this entire time to get an autograph with Mike Tyson, and you're giving it up. And I'm like, you know, I'm going there. I'm like, I'm already like, my nerves are shot, my things are shot, everything's kind of shot. I'm like, you know what, I can't deal with you right now. And so I tell Manny, it's like, Manny, just keep going in line with this guy. You know, just let these other guys get in front of him, and I'll go run and get the cash. And so I run, you know, there's a gas station just down the way, and go in there and look around. You know, the gas station attendant's, you know, he's reading something, he looks up and he's like, hello. And then I look over the ATM, out of money. And I'm like, oh my God. So I sprint down the way, you know, and I'm already thinking like, man, he's gonna be freaking out. I can probably hear him down the way already. I'm getting there, and so I go down. I'm jogging now, jogging in the hot sun down to another gas station, and I go inside, and this time there's 3 people in the line, and I'm sitting there, tapping my foot, kind of going at it, and I'm looking around, and they're like, deep, 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 and I'm like, oh my God, come on, and they're like, I don't want to focus. Deep. Right, and so they're taking as much time as they can, and there's 3 of them. And the second guy just gone and done. And the third guy, he's looking through his wallet. He's looking through his wallet. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? And I was like, all right. And I kind of took a second. I was like, sir, do you mind? I don't mean to be rude, but can I go around? He's like, what do you mean? It's like, just hold on a second. And then he looks through his wallet some more, and I'm like, all right. My leg's thumping. I'm not adding to the situation. He pulled out his pockets. He's looking around on the ground now. He's like, where is it? Do one of you take it? And he grabs the second guy, and I was like, no, I don't have anything. I don't have anything at all. And it's he starts patting him down. The guy's like, get the fuck off me, So they're yelling in there, and I'm kind of turning over, and it's like, don't you dare touch that ATM. And it's like he's looking back, and I'm like, what? I'm kind of eking over while this is happening. I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. It's not my problem. So they're like, oh, and then he checks his back pocket, and it's in there. He's like, hey, get out of the way. And he gets in there, and it's like I gotta get here for this autograph, but I don't want to get attacked by a random Vegas person, citizen, very high standing. So he pulls out $300 from this ATM, and I'm like, oh my God, please, and I go in there, and I tap, and mess it up once, mess it up twice. I'm like, all right, and then finally get it in. I get the $150, $75 for an autograph from Mike Tyson, right? And so I'm streets down. I'm like, oh my God, you know what? I don't even care. And of course, it's a 10% fee because it's not in your bank. So I add that another $1,565 for an autograph on Mike Tyson, on a picture of him with his, smile. And so I'm sprinting now. I'm like, oh my God, I gotta make it. And of course, I hear yelling down the way, and there's no way. Manny's like, he's kind of looking like there's a fire or a mouse in the barn, and I'm like, all right, what's going on? It's like, we got it, and I'm scurrying around these people, and I'm like, excuse me. He's like, yeah, it's fine. And the guy that was right behind us, he's sitting there yelling. I was like, this guy, get him out of here, get this guy out of here. And the guy that was in front of us before, he's yelling. And he's screaming, and he's like, no, I'll pay $1,000. Just please, let me get Mike Tyson to punch me in the face. I've been in line all day, and the person that's the guy talking to Mike Tyson, Mike Tyson's looking to him, and the guy's sitting there, and he's looking to the guy, and he's looking to the person, and he's looking over, and he's like, sir, please calm down. And he's like, no, I've been waiting all day. I have $1,000. It's like, I don't care how much money. I don't care how much money you have. This line is for autographs. There is no punchline. That's it.
That really happened?
No, the whole thing was made up.
This is like 30-minute story that you made up.
Yeah.
Oh man.
There we go.
You've done some music. You're talented.
Thank you.